بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ذلك فضل الله يؤتيه من يشاء والله واسع عليم صدق الله العظيم. Hazrat Hakim Saheb Rahmatullah Alayhi, Hazrat had mentioned two very important prescriptions, especially when people are going through difficulties, when people are going through hardships. Today people are going through a lot of problems. Over the last 1-2 days also, people are so desperate and they were phoning, they want wazifas, they want some wazaif to recite. And more people are so much worried about their rizq and their sustenance, they're not even worried of iman to that extent, how much they're worried of rizq and sustenance. One lady, she's from another area, another province, she moved over to KZN. So she says that her husband got a job, but she's so worried that her husband must remain in that job. So from yesterday, desperate, at night also, today in the morning also, that what amal can we do so my husband remains in that job. Quran has made it so simple. وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاسْتَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. That you command your family people to make salah and you remain steadfast on salah. If you bring this into your life, just bring salah into your life. Quran says, لَا نَسْأَلُكَ رِزْقًا نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُ. We won't ask you for your rizq and sustenance. We will give you rizq. We will give you sustenance. Just bring salah in your life. So the Hakim Saheb Rahmatullah Alayhi used to say, he says that when a person is afflicted with any problem, then immediately read 2 rakats of namaz. And thereafter it says that read the dua, La ilaha illallah al-halimul kareem, subhanallahi rabbil arshil azim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. This kitab is in Fazail Amal and various other kitabs as well. If you don't know, find out from the ulama and recite this. And thereafter make dua to Allah Ta'ala. Mawlana Thanwi Rahmatullahi says that many a times people, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala wants the islah to be made. Allah Ta'ala wants them to reach a very high stage. But a person, he cannot reach that high stage. Because of our weakness, we can't reach there. So Hazrat says, Mawlana Thanwi Rahmatullahi says, Allah Ta'ala then puts him through difficulty. When he goes through one problem, hardly the one problem is over, he's got a second problem. Hardly the second problem is over, he's got a third problem. But in the meantime, what is happening? Allah Ta'ala is elevating him. Now after about 5-10 years, he has to look back and he has to look at his condition. He'll say, where was I? And where Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has brought me. But what brought you there? All those problems in your life. Mullah Tanwi Rahmatullah also says that when you have that problem, then you come onto the musalla. And then a person, he will perform 2 rakats of salah. He says, how valuable is that 2 rakats of salah? More valuable than the world and the contents of the world. But if you didn't have the problem, you wouldn't have read those 2 rakats of namaz. So that problem became the means of you performing the 2 rakats of namaz. So this is one great solution, that a person comes onto salah. That be steadfast on our salah, and the moment we have a little issue, just immediately go to salah. One person, he phoned last night, he messaged 11:30 approximately last night. He's from Johannesburg, and he says that when Allah Ta'ala wants to protect a person, Allah protects him. So he told his workers, he says, he got 2 gates and a door to his business. So he said, he's got a small business. He said, close the gates and close the door. And he went away home. So at night, the one beam went off. So when the beam went off, Allah Ta'ala put into his heart that what should I do? I should go there. So he phoned the alarm company. He said, come with me, let's go over there. So the alarm company went with him. When they went over there, what did they find? He found that one key to the door, that key was missing. So he phoned the worker. He says, where's the key to the door? So he says, no, the key is there. But in reality, the key was gone. And only the gate was locked. So Allah knows best whether they were going through or what was happening previously, he had a problem. So in all these matters, immediately come on to salah. Ask Allah Ta'ala to help us. Ask Allah Ta'ala to assist us. Allah will open the way for us. So this is one great solution, is come on to salah. And the second is, which Hazrat Hakim al-Ummat Mawlana Thanwi Rahmatullah Alayhi, once he wrote to his murid, Shah Abdul Ghani Sahib Pulpuri Rahmatullah Alayhi. And what he told Shah Sahib, he said to Shah Abdul Ghani Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, that every day, I want you to read 70 times Durood Tunjina. And this is the in'am, this is a gift that I am giving you from my side. So as Shah Abdul Ghani Sahib Pulpuri Rahmatullah, when he received this letter, he was very happy that his sheikh wrote a letter to him. But he thought to himself, how am I going to recite 70 times Durood Tunjina every day? Because at that time he was in Jaunpur. And in Jaunpur, he was teaching 16 sabaks a day. And Bukhari Sharif. And to teach 1 page of Bukhari Sharif, how many hours of mutala you need? How many hours you have to study before you go the next day to teach the students? So he says, how am I going to manage that 16 sabaks, and then I must read this wazifa also? He says that I should sleep 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I just sleep a little bit and I wake up again for tahajjud namaz, and then his fajr namaz, and then his wazifas, and then must go back to Darul Ulum. So he said, I won't manage. So he wrote back to Hazrat. He said, Hazrat, I'm teaching 16 sabaks in Jaunpur, how am I going to manage? So Hazrat Hakim al-Ummat, Hazrat Hakim al-Ummat rahmatullahi alayhi said, he said, Quran says, Man ja'a bil hasana falahu ashru amthaliha. Whoever comes with one good deed, it will be multiplied by 10 times. So Hazrat Hakim al-Ummat rahmatullahi said, you just read 7 times. Every morning 7 times durud tunjina. And every evening 7 times you read durud tunjina. And whatever problems you have, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala will protect you. Because in reality, what dua are we making in durud tunjina? We're saying, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Maulana Muhammad. Salatan tunajjina biha. And you can say tunjina or tunajjina. There's 2 ways of reading it. Salatan tunajjina biha. Allah sends such salawat upon Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the family of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which will save us min jami'il ahwali wal afat, from all types of difficulties, from all types of problems. Through durud on Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we are asking Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala to save us from all types of difficulties and problems. من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات. And through this durud, wallah, you fulfill all our needs that we have. Whatever need I have, you fulfill all those needs. وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات. And wallah, you purify us, you cleanse us from all types of gunas and sins. The problem that a person has in his life, primarily it is because of the gunas that a person commits, because of the sins that a person commits. The risk of a person, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala decreases many a time, it is because of our gunas. One person, Hazrat Mufti Ibrahim Saheb, the Mufti Ibrahim Desai Saheb, rahmatullahi alayhi, once he had come to Azadwar. So he mentioned in one program, he said that there was one person that was somewhere in the Durban area. Many years ago this must have happened. And he said this person was a multi-millionaire at that time. He had so many businesses that he didn't have time to see anyone for even a single moment. If you phone him for an appointment, you can't get an appointment from that person. So nevertheless, he was involved in haram relationship. One day one woman, another day another woman. So he's involved in all this wrong. So finally what happened? All his businesses, Allah Ta'ala began decreasing it. And he came to a point where he had no business left. All his businesses were totally ruined. They were all totally destroyed. Finally he phoned Mufti Saheb and he told him, see, this is the last 2 rand that I got in my pocket. And this last 2 rand I'm putting into the call box to call you because I want an appointment from you. So see, where was he at one stage? But the disobedience of Allah Ta'ala brings a person right to the ground. So here we are asking Allah Ta'ala, وَتُطَهِّرُنَا بِهَا مِنْ جَمِيعِ السَّيِّئَاتِ, that purify us from all types of gunas, O Allah. وَتَرْفَعُنَا بِهَا عِنْدَكَ أَعْلَى الدَّرَجَاتِ, and through this durud, O Allah, you elevate us, you raise us to the highest daraja, to the highest status. وَتُبَلِّغُنَا بِهَا أَقْصَى الْغَايَاتِ, and Allah convey us, make us reach the furthest point. مِنْ جَمِيعِ الْخَيْرَاتِ فِي الْحَيَاةِ وَبَعْدَ الْمَمَاتِ, from all types of goodness, make us reach the highest point, the furthest point from all types of goodness, fil hayat wa ba'd al-mamat, in dunya also and in akhirat also. Innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir, you have full power over everything. So from this we understand how great this durud is, durud tunjina. This durud tunjina, had been prescribed by many mashayikh, many akabirin. It was their practice that they would read durud tunjina. As Hakim Saheb rahmatullahi says that daily, at least one time, a person should try and read this durud tunjina, and there is great benefit and there is great effect of this. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala give us all tawfiq. Over the last few weeks, we have discussed in regards to Hajj. We'll just mention 1 or 2 more points. That Hajj is specified to a particular time and a particular place. It can only be done in Makkah al-Mukarramah, in Mina, Arafat, Muzdalifah, and it's a particular time and a particular place. And there's a time for it. The time for it is 8th of Dhul Hijjah, where a person will go to Mina. 9th of Dhul Hijjah, he will go to Arafat and come to Muzdalifah. 10th of Dhul Hijjah, he will come to Mina again. And 11th and 12th, he will be in Mina, he will be making Rami of the Jamarat. So a person, whenever he feels like performing Hajj, generally a person can't perform Hajj. He has to be in Makkah Sharif, and during this specific period, then only will his Hajj be valid. And secondly, we find every person, he has great love for Kaaba Sharif. And when a person for the first time in his life, and even after some time when he goes to Kaaba Sharif, and he sees Kaaba Sharif, his gaze falls. How doesn't a person cry? How doesn't the heart of a person melt? That is why a person is required to lower his gaze. And then when you see Kaaba Sharif, you raise your gaze and you see Kaaba Sharif, and it has that impact on your heart, then you make dua to Allah Ta'ala. And whatever dua a person will make at that time, that dua will be accepted in the court of Allah. Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, he is great intelligent. When he saw Kaaba Sharif for the first time, Imam Saheb rahmatullahi, what dua did he make? He said, Wallah, whatever dua I make after this, every other dua, Allah, you accept. So the greatness of Kaaba Sharif is in the heart of every person. Every person desires to go there. But only those people that have the wealth, Allah has made Hajj farad upon them. And those that have the wealth also, maybe they have the wealth perpetually, but Hajj is made farad only once in a lifetime. Why only once in a lifetime? Imagine a person that's got the wealth. All the time he has to go for Hajj. When he's young, it is easy to perform Hajj. But when a person becomes old, now how difficult doesn't it become for a person to perform Hajj? So Allah Ta'ala made it farad only once in the lifetime of a person. But there are certain amal that if a person does, Allah Ta'ala will give him the reward of Hajj. What about a poor person that doesn't have the ability of going for Hajj? MashaAllah, there are those wealthy people that have workers in their business and they sponsor a worker. Every year, they send one worker. They say, you go for Hajj. This year is your turn. Next year is somebody else's turn. And they send people for Hajj. But a poor person that there's no one to sponsor also. No, for him also, Allah Ta'ala thought of the poor also. Allah Ta'ala kept the wealthy also in his mind. And Allah Ta'ala made it such that every person can get the reward of Hajj. Some ulama have mentioned that if a person has sincere niyat, when the Hajjis are going for Hajj, one is he makes dua, Allah, I also want to go for Hajj, but I don't have the means of going for Hajj. And when they are leaving, at that time he has some grief in his heart, that if I had the wealth, I would have also gone for Hajj this year. And every year a person can make this niyat. It is mentioned just on that niyat of a person, Allah Ta'ala's treasures are unlimited. Allah Ta'ala will give him the reward of Hajj. So every year a person must make this niyat. Allah, I want to go for Hajj. Allah, give me a share also. And inshallah on that, Allah Ta'ala will give a person the reward of Hajj. It is mentioned when the battle of Tabuk was to take place, Nabi alayhi salam told the Sahaba that you get ready for the battle of Tabuk. Sahaba started preparing for the battle of Tabuk, but some Sahaba came to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. They said, Ya Rasulullah, we want to participate, but we don't have animals. Give us some animals so that we participate in the battle of Tabuk. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, on this occasion, I also don't have any animals. So these Sahaba, they started crying. They said that we want to participate, we can't participate. They remained behind in Medina Munawwara. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam returned from Tabuk, Hazrat Anas radiallahu ta'ala said, just outside Medina Munawwara, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told Sahaba, he said, Inna fil Madinati aqwaman, that verily in Medina Sharif there is a group of people, ma sirtum masiran, wala qata'tum wadiyan illa kanu ma'akum. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that they did not travel you did not walk any path, neither did you tread through any valley, except these people were with you. Sahaba said, Qalu ya Rasulullah, they said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, wahum bil Madina, they in Medina. How is it that we are traveling in the path of Allah wa ta'ala, and they were with us in the path of Allah? We going through the valleys, and they are with us in those valleys in the path of Allah ta'ala. They in Medina Sharif. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, wahum bil Madina habasahum al-udhr, that they in Medina Sharif, but they had excuses, valid excuses, because of which they could not go out in the path of Allah. If it was possible, they would have gone out. From here also we understand that a person, he wants to go to Makkah Sharif, he wants to perform Hajj, a person wants to go for Umrah, but there are restrictions, he can't go. He's got a genuine niyat, his heart is crying, I want to be there. Whilst he is sitting at home on his genuine niyat, Allah wa ta'ala will give him that reward. Also another action that a person can do, because of which a person will get the reward of Umrah also, he will get the reward of Hajj also, he will get the reward of Jihad also, he will get the reward of Sadaqah also. It is mentioned, this is the Tasbih Fatimi. The Tasbih Fatimi, there's different narrations how we actually got it. One narration comes where Ja al-Fuqara'u ila Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The poor Sahaba, they came to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When they saw how the wealthy, they spending in the path of Allah wa ta'ala, then at that time they felt left out. That how come they gone so far and we can't reach them? So they came to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and they said, ذهب أهل الدثور بالدرجات العلا والنعيم المقيم. Ya Rasulullah, the wealthy Sahaba, they have gone بالدرجات العلا, what lofty status they have reached, and perpetual bounties they are enjoying, O Allah. They have gone with this, that yusalluna kama nusalli wa yasumuna kama nasum, and these Sahaba, they read namaz like how we read namaz, they fast like how we fast. Walahum fil amwali fadlun, but when it comes to their wealth, they got superiority over us, because they got money, they can go so much further than us, we can't go that further. So then they told Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ya'tamirun wa yahujjun wa yujahidun wa yatasaddaqun, that they make umrah, they make hajj, they go in jihad, they give sadaqah. Ya Rasulullah, we cannot do this. What did Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam tell him? He said, I will teach you a wazifa. In our terms, a wazifa. That you do this and you will reach where these Sahaba have reached. And if you make amal upon this, those that come after you, they will never be able to reach you except that they do what you do. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Sahaba 33 times Subhanallah, 33 times Alhamdulillah, 33 times Allahu Akbar. You read this after every salah and you will go much more further than this. Sahaba, the poor Sahaba were so happy. They came, they started making amal. The wealthy they found out. When they found out, they started making amal also. Sahaba were desirous to make as much amal as possible. So they started making amal. So the poor came back to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, look at them. That now they also making amal. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَن يَشَاءُ. This is the grace of Allah. Allah gives to whomsoever He wishes. From here we also understand the greatness of the dhikr of Allah. These tasbihat, and particularly in these 10 days, the moon has been sighted. These are the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, فَأَكْثِرُوا فِيهِنَّ التَّكْبِيرِ وَالتَّحْلِيلِ وَالتَّحْمِيدِ وَالتَّحْلِيلِ. That say Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, which is all in the third kalima, Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu Akbar. In these days, excessively recite the third kalima. So from here we understand the greatest of the dhikr of Allah. On one occasion, one sahabi came to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, give me nasihat. But the nasihat that you give me, make it very, very short. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, La yazalu lisanuka ratban bi dhikrillah. That keep your tongue moist always in the dhikr of Allah ta'ala. This is the greatest thing, the remembrance of Allah. So this is one amal, that if a person reads it after the farz salah, immediately after the farz sunnah, and then a person reads this, a person will get the reward of umrah, he will get the reward of hajj, he will get the reward of jihad, and he will get the reward of sadaqah. 4 great benefits of reading the tasbih Fatimi. The second amal, that we will get the reward of performing hajj. When Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned, man sallal ghadata fi jama'ah, that person that performs the fajr namaz in jama'at, with congregation he performs the fajr salah. After performing the fajr salah, this person summa qa'ada yadhkurullaha tabaraka wa ta'ala. Then he sits and he makes the zikr of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Hatta tatlu ash-shams, to the extent that the sun rises, meaning right up to the time of Ishraq, he will sit and he will make the dhikr of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned for this person, كَأَجْرِ حَجَّةٍ وَعُمْرَةٍ. For him is like the reward of a hajj and an umrah. ثُمَّ قَالَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم. Then Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, تَامَّةٌ تَامَّةٌ تَامَّةٌ. That a complete, a perfect hajj, a perfect umrah, you will get this reward just by performing this salah, just by performing the Ishraq salah. So a person, once in a year, a person can perform hajj. But Ishraq, a person can perform every day. And every day he can get the reward of performing hajj and performing umrah. The tasbih Fatimi, every day he can get this reward. We will make mention of one more. The third one, it is mentioned that a person has to come to the masjid to perform salah with jamaat. We know the importance of performing salah with jamaat. To perform salah with jamaat, this is sunnat muakkada. It is on the boundaries of wajib. That is why if a person, he omits the jamaat without a valid reason, a person is sinful in the court of Allah Ta'ala. For example, if a person is living in a jungle and there's a lot of rain and there's mud, now he finds it difficulty to walk to the masjid. Now that's a valid reason in terms of Sharia, he cannot go to the masjid. Or a person is extremely ill, he cannot go to the masjid, that is a valid reason for him to perform salah at home. But even in the final moments of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, with the support of 2 Sahaba, when he was so ill, Nabi Alayhi Salatu Wasalam would come to the masjid. So there are certain times where a person is excused from going to the masjid. Like there were floods now and the roads were caving in, etc. At that time now it's difficult for a person to go to the masjid. At that time he can perform salah at home. But when a person has the ability of going to the masjid and the masjid is close to the home of a person, there a person should walk to the masjid. And for every step that he will take to the masjid, it is mentioned he will get 1 reward. And for every step that he takes to the masjid, 1 guna of his, it is forgiven. From amongst the various virtues that have been mentioned in regards to walking to the masjid, one has been mentioned that a person that walks to the masjid with the intention of performing his farz salah, that person gets the reward of hajj. So if you can walk to the masjid, then a person that walks to the masjid with the intention of farz salah, he gets the reward of performing hajj. And a person that walks to the masjid just with the intention of reading nafil namaz. For example, a person, he maybe wanted to read Salatul Haja or Istikhara or whatever. He said, let me go to the masjid and perform it there. So he walks to the masjid with the intention of performing that nafil namaz. That for that person is the reward of a nafil umrah. So just by walking to the masjid, a person must make that niyat. I want the reward of Hajj, ya Allah. I'm going to read my farz namaz. And after the farz, I'm going to read my sunnats, nawafil, etc. So there a person makes niyat of nafil. And there, inshallah, a person will get the reward of umrah. Allah Ta'ala give us all tawfiq, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. فاذكروني أذكركم أنا جلیس من ذکرنی دل میرا ہو جائے ایک میدان ہو تو ہی تو ہو تو ہی تو ہو تو ہی تو اور میرے تن میں بجائے آب و گل درد دل ہو درد دل ہو درد دل غیر سے بالکل ہی اٹھ جائے نظر تو ہی تو آئے نظر دیکھو جدھر لا الہ الا اللہ محمد رسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم لا إله إلا الله 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 محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. الہی دل میں میرے غیر کا اثر نہ رہے سوائے تیرے کسی پر میری نظر نہ رہے تو کر بے خبر ساری خبروں سے مجھ کو الہی رہوں ایک خبردار تیرا لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ لا الہ الا اللہ إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللہ اللہ کیسا پیارا نام ہے عاشقوں کا مینا اور جام ہے اللہ جل جلالہ تعالی شانہ اللہ 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 ایچه شیرین استناب شیر و شکر می شود جانم تمام اللہ 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 اللہ. اپنے ملنے کا پتہ کوئی نشاں تو بتا دے مجھ کو اے رب جہاں اللہ 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 اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله ولك الملك كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك اللهم صل على سيدنا مولانا محمد كلما ذكره الذاكرون وكلما غفل عن ذكره الغافلون اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان اللهم اجعلنا من الراشدين اللهم اجعلنا من المهديين اللهم توفنا مسلمين والحقنا بالصالحين غير خزايا ولا مفتونين اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم جزا الله عنا محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم بما هو أهله سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.